testing. Om-kāra Jnananjan-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitanina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Thank you so much, dear devotees, for coming and joining us for the Bhagavad Gita class on 8th chapter. We're going to do verse number 11. So a couple of things also wanted to announce here before you miss it, that on Sunday there is Radha-Ashtami celebrations at the temple in the morning. So most of us are going to be there. So Sunday morning we will not have the Bhagavad Gita recitation and memorization class. Just wanted to sensitize you to that part. And then we will take it from there. Okay, so we will start with reading verses from the Bhagavad Gita, one translation at a time. And then I also wanted to cover chapter 8, verse number 11 today. So that's our goal for today, right? So let's try to do both the things today. And so what I was thinking was that we will read the chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita. Any questions, thoughts that you have in your mind, just keep them with you, note them down somewhere. We'll go into verse number 11, and then we will open up where you can talk about 11 and anything from the rest of the chapter, like that, okay? So we'll do that. I'm going to start sharing the screen. You already have the reading order on the WhatsApp group. Do you have the reading order? Everybody has the reading order? So we have Sukomal Radhe Mataji going in first, Vindyavali Mataji, Devi Kumari, Varshana, Pavitra Mataji, Satava Mataji, and Madhav Sangini Mataji. Okay, so that's what we have, and it's also posted on the WhatsApp group. So let me start sharing my screen, and which one did I want to share? Okay, let's see here. Hold on, I'm just trying to see if it is good or not. Coming or not. Sorry, who else joined us here?
No, it's me. I took my device. Actually, I was sharing device with Deepika.
I see. Okay.
Mataji Pushpa also joined.
Pushpa Mataji also joined us. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm just trying to check and see whether we are broadcasting or not. And Pushpa Mataji is on our group also, right? Somebody added her there?
Yes, Mataji.
She's there? Oh, awesome. Okay. I'm just trying to see, hold on for a second, whether this is being broadcast or not. I couldn't see that here. Yeah. It looks like the broadcast on Facebook is not going. I'll have to redo this again. Just bear with me for a second. And who is joining? Who? Shita?
Kiran.
I can hear everything except the fact that who has joined. Who is that?
We have class.
Thank you.
Oh, something wrong happened here. Okay. Yeah, something is. Hold on for 1 second. Today's 29th, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Now I can see it has. Why are they trying to connect to? This is going to take a little longer. Hold on. This might be a bad one. Why does it do that? Why does it do that? Wants me to connect, but it's going to a different one. Website. No, not this one. Okay, why don't we do this? I don't want to stall and waste the time here with these technical problems, I will start sharing my screen. You already have the order. Devi Kumari Mataji, can you go and paste the revised order there on with the newcomers? And I heard one more beep.
Jyoti.
Yes, huh?
Jyoti has that. Jyoti Kumar.
Jyoti Mataji, yeah, please add her as well so that we have the order. Okay. Are you ready? All right. I think I should wait and let people settle down. Who joined us just now?
Sorry, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Jyoti Mataji.
Okay.
Ji.
Okay, she dropped and then joined again. Okay, Jap. So can you post the revised order there on our WhatsApp group, Mataji? You can copy from mine and edit it. Devi Kumari, if you can do that.
Yes, Mataji. So I have to just copy paste and put
Copy paste from there and add the new ones there, right?
Okay.
I don't have any list here, Mataji. Anyway, I am after Sukomala Mataji. That's all.
Yeah, you don't worry. Yeah.
I am not worried.
So after Pushpa Mataji, I'm adding Jyoti Mataji.
Yeah.
And where is Pushpa Mataji's name? Yeah, Pushpa Mataji. Correct.
Yeah, you put it.
Sanjani, Pushpa, and then rest. Yeah. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, my name is not there.
Yeah. Tell Pushpa, tell Devi your name.
Kiran Khosla.
Kiran Khosla Mataji.
Okay, so after Jyoti Mataji, I'm putting yours.
Yeah.
Oops.
It's too bad. Too bad and waste of time. This is bad. Why is the thing not changed? On my computer, wherever there is technology, you will have problems.
Devi, Rupal Mataji joined.
Yes, Mataji, I'm adding her now.
I'm being hopeful. We might get something going here. Okay. Now let's try it one more time. So funny. Okay, one more try and then we're done. If we don't broadcast, then that's fine. I will record the call and I have to. This will mean like 6 hours gone for me. And it says it's on live stream. But that's fine. It's not live streaming anything. Okay, so let's get going here. I'm going to start sharing my screen here. Sorry, apologize for the delay. So how many do we have reading?
14.
Okay, maybe 14. Fantastic. So that's a good number. Everybody will get to read 2 verses. And I'm showing you chapter 1. Make it a little bit bigger. And let's get going. Here, who's first?
Yeah, I'm going.
Radhe.
Attaining the Supreme. Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the Self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me.
Number 2, Vindhyavali Mataji.
You did, okay, sorry. Who is the Lord of sacrifice? And how does he live in the body? O Madhusudana, and how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death?
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma or fruitive activities.
Hare Krishna, O best of the embodied beings, the physical nature which is constantly changing is called Adhibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods like those of the sun and moon, is called Adideva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as a super soul in the heart of every embodied being, am called Adiyagya, the Lord of sacrifice. Hare Krishna.
And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone at once, attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt.
Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will remain without fail.
Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt.
He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path. He, O Partha, is sure to reach me.
Hare Krishna ji. One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like sun, and he is transcendental beyond all material nature. Hare Krishna.
One who, at the time of death, fixes his life air between the eyebrows and by the strength of yoga, with an undeviating mind, engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion, will certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna ji.
Persons who are learned in Vedas, who utter oṁ-kāra, and who are great sages in the renounced order enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. Text 12. The yogic situation is
Sure,
that of
one only, Mataji, one only.
Sonal Mataji after Rupal.
Sonal. Bhaktin Sonal.
Mataji, which sloka I am okay. The yogic situation is that of the detachment from all sensual engagement, closing all the door of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life air at the top of the head. One establishes himself in yoga.
After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets.
For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Partha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service.
After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained to the highest perfection.
From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all the places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Hare Krishna.
By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night.
Stating, at the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state, and therefore, thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again.
Text 19. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated.
Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, the part remains as it is.
That which the Vedantists describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, that is my supreme abode. Hare Krishna.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. Sonal, text 23.
O best of the Bharatas, I shall not explain to you the different time at which passing away from the world, the yogi does or does not come back.
Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fiery god in the light at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north.
The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of the warnings moon, or the 6 months when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again comes back. Hare Krishna.
According to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when one passes in darkness, he returns.
Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion.
A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode.
Hari Om, that's it. Okay, so I'm sure as you were reading it, you would have some ideas, some reflections, some questions. Just hold on to them, right? I'm trying to adhere to the agenda. So we have text 11 to talk about. So we'll talk about text 11, and then in the end, we can open up for reflections anywhere on the chapter or on text 11 like that, okay? So Bhagavad Gita 8.11. Okay, let's see. Hold on for a second. All right. Yad akṣaram veda-vido vadanti viśanti yatayo vīta-rāgāḥ yad icchanto brahma-caryam caranti tatte padam saṅgraheṇa pravakṣye yad akṣaram veda-vido vadanti viśanti yatayo vīta-rāgāḥ yad icchanto brahma-caryam caranti tatte padam saṅgraheṇa pravakṣye yad akṣaram veda-vido vadanti viśanti yatayo vīta-rāgāḥ yad icchanto brahma-caryam caranti tatte padam saṅgraheṇa pravakṣye. Yat, that which. Akṣaram, syllable Om. Veda-vidaḥ, persons conversant with the Vedas. Vadanti, say. Viśanti, enter. Yat, in which. Yatayaḥ, great sages. Vīta-rāgāḥ, in the renounced order of life. Yat, that which. Icchantaḥ, desiring. Brahma-caryam, celibacy. Caranti, practice. Tat, that. Te, unto you. Padam, situation. Saṅgraheṇa, in summary. Pravakṣye, I shall explain. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter oṁ-kāra, and who are great sages in the renounced order, enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. Purport. Lord Shri Krishna has recommended to Arjuna the practice of Shat-chakra yoga, in which one places the air of life between the eyebrows. Taking it for granted that Arjuna might not know how to practice Shat-chakra yoga, the Lord explains the process in the following verses. The Lord says that Brahman, although one without a second, has various manifestations and features, especially for the impersonalists. The akṣar or oṁ-kāra, the syllable Om, is identical with Brahman. Krishna here explains the impersonal Brahman into which the renounced order of sages enter. That is what liberation is. In the Vedic system of knowledge, students from the very beginning are taught to vibrate Om and learn of the ultimate impersonal Brahman by living with a spiritual master in complete celibacy. In this way, they realize two of Brahman's features. This practice is very essential for the student's advancement in spiritual life. But at the moment, such brahmachari, unmarried celibate life is not at all possible. The social construction of the world has changed so much that there is no possibility of one's practicing celibacy from the beginning of student life. Throughout the world, there are many institutions for different departments of knowledge, but there is no recognized institution where students can be educated in the brahmachari principles. Unless one practices celibacy, advancement in spiritual life is very difficult. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya has announced, according to the spiritual injunctions for this age of Kali, that in this age, no process of realizing the Supreme is possible except by the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so this was the verse for today. So basically, it's talking about that people who are learned in the Vedas, who utter oṁ-kāra, and who are great sages in the renounced order, enter into Brahman. Right? So here we're talking about Brahman as the effulgence that comes out of the body, right? The effulgence doesn't have any shape. Now, in order to reach that stage, he has to practice celibacy. And Krishna is saying here that I will explain to you what this particular process is, right? In this verse is actually a prelude to two verses that are going to come after this verse, where Krishna is going to tell them about the process, right? So let's go and look at this a little bit more. I wanted to bring about certain things here. So yad akṣaram, So there is the word akṣaram, right? Akṣar. What is the akṣar?
Syllable.
Syllable.
Eternal.
Eternal.
Right? Yeah. And did we hear anything about akṣar in this verse, in this chapter anywhere earlier? Akṣar.
Yes, in the second or third verse, let me check.
What
When
did we
Krishna
say?
was answering the questions.
Correct. What was he answering? What was he saying?
What is Brahman? What is self? Let me see. Third verse. Bhagavan.
Correct.
Shri
Third verse.
Bhagavan
Brahma.
Akṣaram.
Exactly.
Akṣaram Brahma Paramam.
The indestructible.
Akṣaram Paramam.
Yeah.
Sabhavo
Visarga Karma Sanketaha.
Yeah.
Oh, 10, 8. Yeah. Sabhavo adhyatma uchite bhuta bhavo bhavakaro visarga karma saṅgitaḥ, right? Akṣaram, right? So the akṣar word has come here also. So how is he translating akṣar here as?
Om.
Indestructible, right? Destructible. So here akshar, like shar and akshar, right? Shar and akshar. Shar means something which is destructible, and akshar is something that cannot be destroyed. So here, if you look at the translation, what is he saying? Can somebody read the translation? Somebody who did not get a chance to read?
I can read, Mataji.
I can.
Hold on. We are going through the list, right? So when we went into the second round, where did we stop?
I think Pushpa Mataji can read.
Okay, Pushpa, go ahead and read.
Hare Krishna. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the transcendental living entity is called Brahma, and his eternal
Brahman.
nature, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of living entities is called karma or fruitive activities.
Okay. Here one more small thing, that this word has got only one T in it.
Fruitive.
Fruitive.
It is not fruitive. Where are the two T's? Tell me.
Fruitive.
Exactly. Okay. So yeah. All right. So now let's go back and see. So what is akshar? What is akshara describing here? What is akshar referring to here?
Brahman.
Soul, exactly. They're saying the indestructible, right?
Syllable
Indestructible
Om.
akshar, right? No. There is no syllable Om in this verse. Here,
in the 11th verse.
So why are you talking about 11th? We are talking about.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't jump ahead. It causes confusion. So here, the indestructible. He's saying indestructible. What is the Sanskrit for indestructible?
Akṣaram.
Akṣaram, right? And so the word indestructible is describing what?
Soul.
No, give me the words from that verse.
Brahman.
Is it describing Brahman?
Transcendental living entity.
Transcendental living entity, correct, for 500 points, right? So the word indestructible is describing the transcendental living entity. What is another word for transcendental living entity that you used just now?
Akṣaram, indestructible.
No, English.
Brahman.
Soul.
Soul. Simple soul. Yeah, right? So soul is being described as indestructible here. So in this particular word, the word akṣaram is being used to describe the soul. Okay? You got that thing? Now, if you go to 8.11, tell me what is akṣaram describing?
Om.
Syllable Om. Right?
Mataji, both are same, akṣaram.
No, both are not the same. That's what I'm trying to say.
Can you go back for 1 second? Akṣaram is the same word, akṣaram?
Yes, akṣaram.
Oh, okay, it's the same word.
Yes.
Can you scroll down the English?
Yes.
Akṣaram, syllable Om.
And 11 is
11 akṣaram is syllable Om, and
akṣaram.
Yeah, 3 is akṣaram here.
Akṣaram. Oh, same word is there. Okay.
Yes, the word is same.
Indestructible.
Sanskrit, the word can have many meanings, right? How many meanings does the word Atma have? The word Atma.
I won't be able to tell how many, but for the body also, sometimes
Yeah.
the soul
For
is
the mind,
referred, and
The soul
for the
and
mind,
and,
for the soul, for
and the
intelligence.
ansh of Paramatma.
Yes, Paramatma also sometimes, right? So in Sanskrit, it's very common. And that's why I wanted to highlight the fact that since we are in the same chapter and we see the word akṣaram come, right? Earlier it was referring to the indestructible nature of something. And here it is talking about the syllable Om, right? Okay. Now, one question is, so veda-vid, right? What is the meaning of veda-vid?
Who knows
The
about,
one
who
who
has
knows
the
all
knowledge of Vedas?
One who has got
Vedas.
knowledge of the Vedas. Okay. Anybody remember any verse from Bhagavad Gita?
15 point something.
What
First,
is it
actually,
something?
Urdu Moolam.
15:15.
15, yes.
15. Okay. Who's going to
Sarve.
tell me? Who's going to tell me from the beginning?
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मता स्मृतिर्ज्ञानम् अपोहनश्च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहं वेदविद्यो वेदान्तकृद् एव चाहम्.
The Veda-vidaḥ, the word Veda-vidaḥ has come, right? And what does the word Veda-vidaḥ mean? That one who understands the Vedas, right? And who can understand the Vedas better than
Krishna.
Krishna. And why Krishna? Because he says Vedanta-vid, Vedakrit. He says that I have also created the Vedas, right? So if somebody is writing, if you're writing a book,
Yes.
you're the one who will understand everything about the word, right? About the words in the book because you wrote it. Okay. So going back into this verse again, Jat akṣaram. So the Om, right? Where else does Krishna refer Om in Bhagavad Gita? Does he talk about Om any place
Is it
else?
in chapter 10?
Yeah.
Is it in
Chapter 10, correct. For 250 points. Tell me which verse, then you'll get another 250.
In the words, I am Om.
Yeah, I'm the oṁ-kāra, I think.
Correct. Give us the number. Okay, let's find the number together here. Okay, let's see. Should I do a control F? Get you the words. Om. Okay, I should put a space before
Read
that.
from freedom from.
It was gone. It is up there. Which word is?
23, is it Rudranam? Is it Rudranam?
No.
That one.
No. 25.
Maharshinam. Okay.
25. Let's see 25.
Maharshinam.
Maharshinam Bhrigur Aham
I'm transcendental Om.
Giram Asmi Ekam Akṣaram Yajnanam Japa Yagyosmi Sthavaranam Himalaya.
Yeah.
So
the great sages I am.
where is
Akṣaram, Ekam Akṣaram.
No.
Pranav.
Pranav.
Ekam Akṣaram.
Yeah, Akṣaram is there. But it is translated as Pranav, right? Where is Om?
Ekam Akṣaram is Pranava.
Yeah, Pranava is Om. The sound of Om is called Pranav, right?
Oh.
Ekam Akṣaram. So it's used here also, right? Then last chapter also we had done that. Okay. So let's go to vedabase.com and look at chapter 7 in the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah? Last chapter we did was 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see where else is he talking in chapter 7 about. Oops, it went to Vedabase. How did it go to Bhagavatam? Look at that. Bhagavatam, favorite. Okay. Chapter 7. Chapter 7. Chapter 7. Read and tell me, where is Om? Correct for 500 pounds.
Rasoham apsat kaunteya prahasam shasi surya pranava sarva vedeshu sabdha kehe
Parisham Nirishu.
Parisham rishu.
So where is Om?
Pranav. Pranavaha.
Pranav.
Good work there. Okay.
Pranava.
Yeah, Pranav is Om, right? So Om is being referenced. So yad akṣaram veda-vido vadanti viśanti yad yatayo vīta-rāgāḥ. So he's saying persons who are learned in Vedas, so first you have to learn the Vedas, who utter oṁ-kāra, you have to chant the syllable Om, who are great sages in the renounced order, you have to be renounced, right? And if you have to get to this stage, you have what you have to do, desiring such perfection. If you're achieving desiring such perfection, then one practices celibacy. So you have to practice celibacy also. Okay, so it is a difficult thing. And especially as Prabhupada says that in these days, there is no question of celibacy, right? Even among the students, he mentioned that, right? And
Mataji, what does it mean, enter into Brahman?
Enter, yeah. So this Brahman here is the effulgence that comes out of Krishna. Okay. So there are different ways in which, or stages in which you realize God, right? Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwan iti Shabdate. So Brahman is just the effulgence that comes from the Lord, and it doesn't have any shape as the Lord has, right? Then Paramatma is when you realize the God in your heart as the four-handed Vishnu. And then Bhagwan is Krishna with the two hands and the flute. That's Bhagwan, right? So Brahman, who would like to go into the Brahman? So what happens is that people who are intelligent, they realize that this body gives them a lot of grief. The body or extensions of this body, right? What are examples of some extensions of our body?
Can you explain?
Our kids.
The question is, what are some examples of extensions of this body?
Yeah, our family.
Our family.
So from
Can you extend a little bit more? From your family, you can extend to?
Friends.
All right. Then?
Kids.
Friends, okay.
No, our children.
And children is family.
Is family.
Yeah. How much more can you extend?
Society.
Society. Right?
Grandkids, more.
That is family.
Our possessions.
Well, if you're thinking you are your possession, then yes. Which most of the people think. So, okay. How much more do you extend beyond your family? You don't extend beyond your family as mine? Did you ever say my country?
Yes.
My city? Right? My city, right? So like that, you can extend. So when people realize that either the body or the extensions of their body give them grief, right? So when they reach that kind of a stage, then what happens is that they start raking their brains and they think like, okay, if I can reach a stage when I don't have any body, then all these miseries will go away because the miseries come from this body. Right? In this chapter, did you read anywhere Krishna telling about misery?
What's the question, Mataji? What did you say?
In this chapter, did you hear when you were reading or when others were reading, and hopefully you were hearing,
yeah,
that misery was mentioned?
Yeah.
That's good. And where, in which context and how was misery mentioned in this chapter?
Mataji, when
Huh? How is misery? Where was misery mentioned? Chapter 8.
I think he uses this in 15th shloka.
15, correct. And what does he say? Open up 15 and tell us. What does he say?
Just a minute. I'll open. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world which is full of miseries.
Which is full of miseries.
Because they have attained the highest perfection.
Right? So now he's talking about great sages, a different class, right? Now here what we're talking about is that people realize that this is a place of misery, and misery comes from the body or extensions of the body, right? And so they try to reach a situation where there is no body, which is, okay, let me give up this material body. Okay? So now when we tell them that...
Now let's sleep.
What is happening?
Someone has to mute.
Right. So, yeah, so when they realize that this body gives you grief, and they realize that, and they desire that they want to reach a state where there is no body, and you start telling them about God and transcendence and then spiritual and all that, and then you tell them that God has got a body, then you have a spiritual body. They won't like that concept of body, because to them, body is something that gives you grief, right? So they'll rather want to reach a stage where there's no concept of a body. Even God doesn't have a body or a shape. So those are the people who like to meditate upon God as a person who's formless. So if you meditate upon God, you're meditating upon something transcendental. So obviously you will reach. But yam yam vapi smaranam bhavam, right? In whichever form you are remembering Krishna, you will go there, right? So they will only reach the effulgence. They will only reach the light that comes out of Krishna's body. And they will hang there. They won't have a body. They're just souls there. They have a spiritual body. It's not manifest yet, so they are not aware of it. So just hanging there, not doing anything. Because to do something, you need a body. Okay? So
Mataji wonderfully explained. So do I understand the Brahman meaning everywhere in Bhagavad Gita will be effulgence? That stage?
No. According to the context, right? According to the context, Prabhupada will explain to us the meaning. And that's why we need a teacher to tell us, right? Otherwise, if you say Brahman equal to, like, it's not purely mathematical, it's an art as well. It's not just science, right? It's an art as well. Depending on the context in which it is used, it will have a different meaning. So people will just go and hang there. And now the soul by nature is very active. That's why you'll find that people who are very spiritually evolved, they are high, Srila Prabhupada and all that, at such a high age, also they were able to do so much of work, right? Because that the soul and the transcendental part of them is very, very active and very heavy. We, on the other hand, are, covered by material. So we go by the rules of the material world. And so I want my sleep, I want my food, I want this, I want that, like that, right? So those people will go there and they will hang. But then the soul wants to do service, because one key point you have to remember is that soul by design. How you design certain things. You can design a television, it'll operate in a certain way. You design a blender, it'll work in a certain way. Design a motor car, it'll work in a certain way. So similarly, the soul has also been designed by God and fabricated and made by God in a certain way, and with a certain goal and a certain purpose. So, for example, a sewing machine can sew. A sewing machine cannot wash your clothes, right? Similarly, the soul has been wired to do certain things. And the soul is designed to worship the Lord and to serve the Lord. That is our design. That's how we were designed, but then we deviated from the design, right? And so the soul who's hanging in the effulgence gets bored and then falls down again to this material world, because they are not fully pakwa, right? They're still raw to a certain extent. They are mangoes, remember, they are devotees, but just, not yet there. So they will go there, they'll feel bored after hanging there for many, 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 many years, and then they will fall down to this material world, get a material body. And when they get the material body, all that they know is they know about that God doesn't have a body. And so they will pursue that same route again. So this way they can go up and come down many times, right? And it is only by the mercy of somebody like Srila Prabhupada that they will get exposed to Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all the books that Prabhupada has written, by which they will come to know that God has got a form. And then they will start meditating on the form of Krishna. And when you meditate on the form of Krishna, again, whatever you're thinking about at the time of death, you will just go there. Okay? So Brahman over here, in this verse, is talking about that they will reach that planet. They will reach the Supreme Lord's effulgence only. Okay? So let's look at some more words from this verse, which is getting very interesting here. So yat akṣaram veda-vido vadanti. So they know the Vedas, they will akṣaram, they will chant the oṁ. That's what they will do, right? Viśanti yat yatayo vīta-rāgāḥ. Your viśanti is there they enter. Okay. Yat vatato, yatayaḥ or yatayo is great sages. Okay. So what do great sages do? The great sages who are conversant, they will do that. They reach that state. What stage do they reach? Vīta-rāgāḥ, in the renounced order of life. Vita means without. Raga means attachment. Okay? Without any attachment. Thus this verse, vīta-rāgāḥ, those who are older students in this class who have been coming here for many times, many years now, does this word vīta-rāgāḥ sound familiar to you? Vīta-rāgāḥ, 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 vīta-rāgāḥ bhayakrodam, padam upasitaha, right? In chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, we had talked about that. Bhagavad Gita, after Krishna says, let me take the verse before that, where Krishna says, Janma karma cha me divyam. So he says, Evam yo veti tatvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. So he says that one who understands the transcendental nature of my appearance, how Krishna comes into this world, his activities, his leela, that person who knows and understands it properly does not upon leaving the body take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. He tells that, right? So now based on this fact that, a person, if he is focused on Krishna, then that person will not return to this material world. The people jump on that. And so now here, the next verse is saying, vīta-rāgāḥ bhaya-krodha man-maya mam upashitaha bhavavo jnana tapasa puta madbhavam agataha. So he's saying here, being freed from attachment, fear, and anger. So raga is attachment. If you look at this verse translation here, raga means attachment. Bhaya is fear, krodha is anger. So vīta-rāgāḥ bhaya-krodha, being fully absorbed in me without having these three things, and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love of me. And that's why in today's verse he's saying veda-vido. Veda-vido means they understand the Vedas. And if you go back to the verse that you quoted, 15.15, where he says sarvasachaham hridi sannivishta, that's fine. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha, that we ignore. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha Vedescha sarver aham eva vedyo. From the Vedas, from sarver, from all the Vedas, aham eva vedyo. You're going to know me only, right? So from all the Vedas, if you study all the Vedas, you'll get to know Krishna. And here also he's saying that they become purified by knowledge of me. So by knowledge of me, this attachments go away when we get good knowledge of Krishna. Okay? So today's verse is also focusing on that. Vīta-rāgāḥ bhaya-krodha. In chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, where he was asking about Stitadhir, who is a Stitadhir, who's a person in Krishna consciousness, how does he look, how does he sit, how does he walk and talk, right? So there also he's using the word, I think this is the verse, if I remember correctly. Yeah, dukheshva anudvigna manaha sukheshu vigata spiraha vīta-rāgāḥ bhaya-krodha sitadhir munir uchyate. So you see here again, vīta-rāgāḥ bhaya-krodha is devoid of attachments, fear, and anger. So here, one who is not disturbed in mind, any amongst the threefold miseries, and we just now said this world is full of miseries. So if a person is not disturbed while living in this dukkhalayam ashashvatam, or elated when there is happiness, right? Who is free from attachment, fear, and anger is called a sage of steady mind. So here, attachment we understand, right? Tell me, why would anybody have anger?
Desires.
Say that again.
When your desires are not fulfilled.
Disappointment. Disappointment.
Yeah, desires. Yeah.
Attachment.
The full answer for that is we'll get anger when you have desires which are not fulfilled. If your
unfulfilled desire, yeah.
What is the fear?
Fear of death.
Fear of not getting them, not getting fulfilled, the desires.
Fear of losing things.
So there's so many fear, right? So fear of not getting me, fear of losing it, fear of death, fear of not getting a human body. Depending on where your consciousness is, your fear will also be the same kind of it, right? And in Srimad Bhagavatam, we say that the Navayogendra say that bhayam ditya bhivineshata syat eshap apetasya viparyo smriti. That anger, fear arises when you think yourself as separate from Krishna, right? But if you, and then you will forget your relationship with Krishna, and then you'll start indulging in material enjoyment. The fear arises because of that basic thing there, that we are not focusing on Krishna. But if you're reading Vedas, right? And of course, in this Kali Yuga, we don't have time or the lifespan to be able to read the Vedas properly. So we read Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Those are the things that we read, right? Another fear which I talked about just now was the fear that, oh my goodness, does God have a body? I don't want to go there like that, right? So that could also be a reason for people could be afraid. So desiring such perfection, a person practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. So I'm going to briefly explain to you this process. And then Krishna goes and explains that in 2 verses that are going to follow, right? Which you will do subsequently. So one thing to keep in mind is that Krishna is very precise. 700 verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. How long did Krishna take to tell those to Arjuna?
45 minutes.
45 minutes flat, right? It takes us so many hours. We have not even understood. And of course, Arjuna is so focused in his hearing that he is able to understand also what Krishna is saying and then ask intelligent questions also on top of that, right? And then Krishna is saying that I'm going to tell you the process, right? Person who are learning in Vedas, who utter oṁ-kāra, because in the previous verse, what he said, prayana kale manasa chalena, bhaktya yukto yoga balena cheva, dhavor madhye pranam avesha samyak, sasataram pusham upeti chadyam. So he had said that at the time of death, the mind goes here and there. So, but achal, if to make the mind stir and not undeviated, how do you do that? Yoga balena cheva, right? The yoga bal, from the power of devotional service, you will get that power that to control the mind and not let it go here and there at the time of death, right? And then today in this one, he's talking about, vīta-rāgāḥ. Today's verse, oṁ-kāra brahma vyaharan, like that, akṣaram veda-vido vadanti viśanti yatayo vīta-rāgāḥ. So he's telling about what are these people now going to do who want to control, okay? But at this point, he's talking about those who are going to control the mind. They're going to get liberation, but that liberation is not permanent liberation. They'll only go and hang at the Brahma Jyoti because they only focused on Om, which doesn't have a shape to it, like that, like a human form of a shape there. So in the next 2 verses, he's going to tell you how you, using Yoga Bala, you can reach a place from where you are never going to come back. Never going to come back in the sense that you're never going to fall down as we have fallen down over here, right? People might get liberated, go back to Golok Vrindavan, and then come back again here for doing special projects like Srila Prabhupada, right? He's not fallen down from any place, right? He comes for a special project like the ISKCON project that he had over here. So we need to keep that also in mind in today's verse, right? That following are going to be 2 verses. And sometimes what happens is that people sometimes invite others to speak, and they will say, okay, I'm inviting such and such person, and that person comes to the stage, and then he says, I will speak for a few minutes. And then he speaks for 2 hours, right? But Krishna is not like that. Krishna is precise. If he says, I'm going to tell you saṅgraheṇa pravakṣye, in brief, in summary, I'm going to tell you that, he's going to tell you that in summary, like that, right? So these were some of the key words from this verse, which I wanted to highlight and also mention that how they're connected to other verses before this chapter and further down in the chapter as well, so that when you connect these verses together, they stick in your mind much, much better. Okay, so I'll now open it up for questions.
Mataji, can you explain prayana kale manasa chalena, then through the yoga, and then what was that between the eyebrows or something related to air in the English? What was it?
Yeah, we did that last week. We were there?
Yeah, I was there. I was there.
Yeah. So you don't have to focus too much on that part. He's talking about Shat Chakra Yoga. We are not in that line because, and the reason I'm saying don't go there is because we are at a level much higher than that. So those who are doing bhakti of Krishna, they have already transversed all these paths. They're taking the elevator to go back to Godhead. Otherwise, Shat Chakra Yoga and all that is going to take you through stages, and many of these stages could take you, many millions of births to achieve, right? Unless we are extremely focused and things like that. So in the previous verse, key point to note from the previous verse, as Prabhupada also emphasizes, is that yoga balena, that you will be able to control your mind through yoga bal, through the power of devotional service. Then you don't have to worry about it, because where does the mind go? To material things, right? When you're focusing on Krishna, it won't go to, because it will not like inferior things. Vishya vinivartante niraharasya dehina, 2.59. Rasovarjam rasopyasya panam drishtva nivartate. So it says that if I tell you not to think about material things, you might just say, okay, I'm coming to the class. Shraddha Mataji told me not to think about it, or not to indulge in material things, not to do this, not to do that. Okay, I will do it. But in your mind, you can still think about it, right? So if we are forcefully trying to, move away from something like that, we might achieve it for some time, but the mind can still ponder on those items. Okay? But if the mind gets a higher taste, a better taste, then automatically the mind will drop the lower taste, right? For example, if you go to a restaurant, you're getting idli vada there, right? And then someday somebody goes and says, hey, a new restaurant has come, try that out. So you go to that restaurant, and the idli vada is fantastic, 100,000 times better than the one you were having. Guess what? Next time you'll stop going to the old one. Now you start going to the new one. Why? Because you have acquired a higher taste. You've got a better taste, like that. So because we acquire a higher taste, then the mind doesn't go to the lower things, the material things, and automatically it stays focused in Krishna. So that is the yoga bal that you will get, right? Chakra yoga, that yoga, don't even go. That is not going to lead you to perfection. Okay, that's just a path for those who like that path. The fact that you are reading the Bhagavad Gita, you are in the ISKCON movement, it means that you already have done a lot of sukriti in your previous birth, that you are now exposed to the literature by Srila Prabhupada in his translations. That. Anything else? Any other question or reflection?
Mataji, I need to go, Mataji. I need your
I was just going to
permission.
say that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji, for that
Yeah,
class.
thank you for joining. Yeah. Anything else from here, or for anything that you read in the whole chapter? You read the whole chapter today, right?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
The second shloka we read about sacrifice, that Lord Vishnu is the
Adi Yagya.
Adi Yagya for sacrifice. So sacrifice, I was thinking that sacrifice can be like karma yoga, gyan yoga, everything which you do for self-realization is a sacrifice.
Yes.
Right.
Sacrifice is when you give up something, is a sacrifice. And in chapter 6, there are so many ways in which they talk about doing a sacrifice. A brahmachari is doing some sacrifice. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
A grihastha also does sacrifice.
Yes.
Right? Stark opposite things, but both of them are sacrifices.
Yeah. So,
Similarly,
yeah, please go ahead.
No, go ahead. Ask your question.
So, a grihastha does sacrifice by doing all his duties without attachment for Krishna is sacrifice.
No, I was talking in particular about brahmacharya.
Acha,
Yeah, so I was talking about brahmacharya, where in this particular verse we are talking about brahma-caryam, right? He's saying brahma-caryam caranti. Actually, it's an alliteration. Alliteration, it's a nice poetic small alliteration that is there in this shloka. So I just want you to imagine about Krishna, that here there is a battlefield and he's trying to tell some certain things to Arjuna very quickly, but he's still using poetic things. In alliteration, they will they will use words that sound similar, and so it gives a pleasing sensation to you. Even when people are writing prose, they might write, you know, like, thou goest on a dromedary, drowsily and dreamily, right? Dromedary is a camel with two humps, right? So if you're sitting on a camel, the camel moves like that, right? So thou goest on a dromedary, drowsily, because the camel is moving like that, you'll fall asleep. You fall asleep, you'll dream, right? So this is alliteration. So here also he's doing brahma-caryaṁ caranti. So char is being used over there. Brahma-caryaṁ caranti. So here he's talking about brahma-caryam,
Okay.
which is to practice celibacy, not to have sex,
Mm.
right? On the other hand, the grihastha has sex.
Mm.
For him also it's a sacrifice. Why? Because he has that in a controlled manner, not like an animal. To him, that is a sacrifice, to do it in a controlled manner. From a brahmachari, not to do it as a sacrifice, both are doing sacrifice.
Okay.
Right?
So for grihastha, like following the scriptures, right? Following the scriptures is a sacrifice.
Yes, yes, yes.
So Mataji, but there are so many scriptures. So like Manu Samhita, if we see. So how is it like when we follow scriptures and then at the end Krishna says sarva dharman parityajan mamekam. So वो कैसे मैच करते हैं?
Yes, ऐसे मैच होता है कि इधर-उधर की चीजें नहीं पढ़ो.
Okay.
Right? And Srila Prabhupada for this particular Kali Yuga, he has just prescribed, you know, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam, right?
Okay.
Because these books are written for a whole set of ages and a whole set of people, all the scriptures, right? So, and then in this age and stage with our limited, you know, sense, memory, intelligence, everything is limited, lifetime, everything is limited, right? So Prabhupada has given the thing that you focus, right? That's why when the question was asked about, let's talk about Ashtanga Yoga. Why I never want to talk about Ashtanga Yoga is that, you know, it's difficult to practice. And then you will spend your whole life, like 80 years, trying to practice Ashtanga Yoga. And then you will feel frustrated in the end. Whereas that 80 years could have been used for, and we read in the verse today, in this the Kali Yuga, you just do Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, because honestly, we are good for nothing else.
Yeah.
Even that is so difficult for us to do, isn't it?
Yes.
Even trying to memorize. So, yeah. So again, people read Mahabharata. It's a very favorite book for people to read. And they'll read Mahabharata. Now, Mahabharata is talking about, you know, family life, kingdom, kings, those kind of stories, right? It is there. I mean, of course, Krishna is there, but Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam are just focusing on Krishna, completely focusing on, right?
Okay.
So in the end, yeah. So in the end, when he's saying, Sarv dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraj. So when he's talking about dharma, right? So dharma, grihastha has got dharma, right? He's supposed to do a shraddha, right? For example, for his ancestors, right? So he's supposed to give donations to people. Grihastha is not, cooks the food, offers to Krishna, doesn't eat it. Like in the olden days, what used to happen? Cook the food, and then, if you're talking, then can you please, or if you have a noisy background, can you mute yourself, please? I lost my thought.
So the grihastha has
So we were talking about, so grihastha has to do so many things, right? But then when you come to Srimad Bhagavatam, it says, Devarshi bhutapta nirnam pratinam na kinkaro nayam rinicha rajam sarvatmanaya sharanam sharanyam gato mukundam parihirta kartum. So he says that a person has got so many debts. The debts start from our debts to our parents and ancestors. Because of our parents, I got this human body, because of which I'm able to do devotional service. Right? Then to the Devarshis, like Ved Vyas, who wrote these Vedas for us. Devarshi bhutapta. Bhut is other people. And that is the milkman, the nurse, the doctor. Devarshi bhutapta nirnam pratinam. Pratinam, our ancestor, right? Nirnam. So king, all that. We owe debt to everybody. That's why we have to pay income tax, right? We have a debt. So then nirnam pratinam na kinkaro nayam rinicha raja. So, but he says that a person who is a devotee of the Lord is absolved of all these debts. Rini nahi hai. Rini, right? Rajan, hey king, he's telling that to Parikshit Maharaj. Devashi bhutapta nirnam pratinam na kinkaro nayam rini charaja sarvatmana ya sharanam sharanyam. The one who is taken shelter of whom? The one who is worthy of taking shelter of. So we take shelter of so many things, right? Somebody takes shelter of drugs, somebody takes shelter of alcohol, somebody takes shelters of women, right? Somebody takes shelter of his wealth, somebody takes shelter of this, but the real and the true place where you should take shelter is at the lotus feet of Krishna. So he says, Sharanam Sharanyam, one who has taken shelter of the one who is worthy of taking shelter, which is Mukundam, Kunda, who is going to give you pleasure, right? So when Krishna is saying Sarvdharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanavaja, remember it's the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and the assumption is the person has lived the 17 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. At that time, at that stage, we'll reach a stage where it say, okay, I don't have to do it, right? Like that. For example, when you are reaching at a very high stage and you're doing some very high seva, for example, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur once said that the brahmacharis who were distributing books, right? They said that even if they have to eat rice on an Ekadashi day to get the energy to go and distribute books, let them eat rice. So there you go. That dharma is gone. The Ekadashi dharma is gone, right? Why? Because they are doing something much, much higher. So when we reach a very high stage, then we will give up all these things, and it's okay for us to give up all these things, right? They don't have to do Shraddha, they don't have to do any of these. And why you don't have to do the Shraddha? What exactly is Shraddha ceremony? The Shraddha ceremony is making sure that your ancestors who are in the Pitri Lok, they get food, right? But if you are a devotee, what are you doing? Your ancestors are hanging in Pitri Loka. They are waiting to get a birth again. But you becoming a pure devotee of the Lord will make sure they will get an immediate birth in a family where they can pursue devotional service so that they don't have to go and hang in the Pitri Lokas like that, right? So that's why again and again, Prabhupada has emphasized, and again we come back to this thing that do devotional service. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. That's the key that we should be focusing on in our life, right? It doesn't matter if you did not do this. It doesn't matter if you did not do that, right? All that you'll get. By default, you'll get.
So all the focus should be on just Krishna, nothing
Krishna.
else. No gain, no loss, only Krishna.
Exactly. And you also have to remember that that's the balance. So if given a choice, that is what you would do, right? But when you are sitting in your home and you have a family, also remember that you have to be the influencer in the family and not an influencer in the way that you force the influence, because you can force it because of your position in the family. But being an influencer by becoming a person that people will look at and like to emulate, right? And in order to do that, sometimes, you will have to bend the rules a little bit here and there. For example, you're at your 14th round, 2 more to go, but your child is hungry. You might stop there, feed the child, and then go back to your chanting. That way, the child has now got something positive in his observations that, my mother loves me. She gave that up and came back and gave me food, but then she went back there, right? So that also the child is learning quietly. Then the same things apply to others as well in the family, right? So blindly saying that, okay, Sarvdharman Parityajya, my dharma was to cook for you, maine Parityajya, I have given up. You guys, you order, take out, go this plate, that plate, and you eat like that. That's not. So, Madhav Sangini Mataji, you have a question there?
Actually, it was just a reflection of what we were talking about. Text 7, I remember, it says, therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. So I thought that was a very good summary of
Right.
always, but
Absolutely.
the point is always whether we can do it or not.
You can always do it if you get into this habit of whenever you're doing something to check and see whether Krishna is doing this, Krishna is doing right or wrong, like that.
Right.
Is it right according to Krishna? If you do that touch, you're thinking about Krishna so many times, and then Krishna will give that remembrance to you. Which verse says Krishna will give the remembrance to you?
Oh yeah,
Same one.
Yeah.
The same one. So tell me the same one again.
It is in chapter 15 that I am the remembrance.
Yeah, but give me the words. Give me the words.
15.15.
But give me the words. Who can give me the
Sarvasya
words?
chaham hridhi sannivishto mata smritirjnanam apohanamscha vedescha sarveraham veda-vidyo vedanta veda-vid eva chaham.
Right. There you go. So Krishna will give you. Krishna will give you that remembrance, right? But you take the first few steps. Right? Remember Krishna. You remember Krishna, Krishna will give you the power.
Yeah.
It will come automatically. It's been coming for the last 10 years that you are.
Can you tell me this verse is which one? 15.15?
15. Yeah.
Sarvasya yes, 15.15.
Famous one. Famous one.
Yeah. Try to memorize that and then yeah. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudja is also amazing because imagine, I mean, we are saying that we are not able to remember Krishna in our lives. Krishna is telling Arjuna to remember him when? Mam anusmara, then do what? Mam anusmara. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhcha. And fight. Think of me and fight. I mean, how difficult it is in a war, right? Even if we have a war in our home with the spouse, right? The words are coming out. You don't remember Krishna at that time.
Even at the end of the life, right? This one of the sloka in chapter 8.
Yeah.
What was that?
Antakale cha mameva.
Antakale cha mameva. Smaranat kalevaram.
Tva kalevaram. Yeah,
Tva kalevaram.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, and when we were reading the shloka number 18, at the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest, and from the unmanifest way, from the unmanifest state.
First, we have to understand what is the meaning of manifest.
Yeah. So,
right? What do you think, team? What do you think, class? What is the meaning of the word manifest? When they say manifest, what does it mean?
It can be used as to emerge.
As emerge, okay.
Vyakt hona, to
come into being.
To come into being.
To come into being.
To vyakt.
Manifest, yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah. So basically the word manifest is like when something can be seen by your eyes.
Yes.
Right? That is known as manifest. So the living entity, the soul, cannot be seen by your eyes, right? Okay? It's only the gross body that you can see. So what happens and a gross body is made up of what? Give me the verse.
Vrumirapo na lopa ayuham mano buddhirevacha ahaṅkāramiti me bhinna prakritirastha.
Yes, there you go, right? So 8 things make up the body. And of that, the gross body is made up of Panchbhut, the 5, right? Prithvi, Jal, Tej, Vayu, Akash, like that, right? So I have got earth in me. I have got water in me.
Yeah.
Fire, air, right?
Yeah.
All that is there, but this is a shape, right? This is the shape I have right now. And you can see it. You see the shape, eyes, nose, like that, right? Now, if we take all the earth from me and put it aside, if you take all the water from me and put it in the back in that sea, right? Like that, air. If you take it all, then can you see this shape?
No. Nowhere.
No. But although the earth is still there, the water is still there, the air is there, whatever, the 5 over there, they're all there, but you're not seeing it. When you put it like that, right? All the earth, all the water in one place, all the earth in one place, that is unmanifested. And actually, at the beginning of creation, that distinction between this is water, earth, fire, air is also not there. Everything is the same. And then from there, and Bhagavatam tells you very nicely, first the sound comes and, like that. It'll tell you about how things evolve from the earth, from smell, earth, like that. It'll keep on telling you, right? So that is the unmanifested. So what he's saying is that in the beginning of creation, when Brahma is creating, right? So there are souls. Now these souls have to be given in a gross body so that they can manifest themselves. And after we die, what happens? We are either burnt or we are buried, or if we are Parsis, then we are fed to the Birds.
Birds.
And the birds will
Eagles.
digest us, and then they will poop out, and then that will get merged into the earth again. So everything after the body decomposes, after death when the body decomposes, the earth part of the body goes back to the earth, right? The water will go out, right? Like that, earth, whatever air was there will go and merge into the air, like that. So again, it has become unmanifest, and soul you cannot see. Okay? So what he's saying is, what Krishna is saying, in the beginning when Brahma creates it, this is how the manifestation happens. And at the time of death or annihilation, when Brahma annihilates everything, then all this will go back into the unmanifested state. As if, like for example, you made some atta dough, right? And then you added some aloo in it and some hara dhania, what is that called? Yeah, right? Cilantro.
Cilantro.
And some jalapeno and some salt, right? You made that. It was a dough. But then if you make a ball out of it, a ball has been manifested. If you roll the ball out, then a chapati has been manifested. If you put it in oil, now puri is manifesting. Right? So when you look at the puri in the unmanifested state was that dough. So you see the difference? Yeah. Manifested, you get a shape. Unmanifested, you don't have a shape. So in the beginning, our bodies we don't have a gross body, we don't have a shape like that. That can be visible to the eyes. Manifest basically means this, right? For example, if you take, if in the busy bazaar, you go with some food and there is a dog over there, right? You see one dog and you take out your food and you try to give the food to the dog. Then out of nowhere, so many dogs will manifest, right? So you could not see, they were there in the street somewhere, but you only saw one dog. But the moment you brought out some food, all the dogs want that food, so they come out. Now they are in front of your eyes. That's why they say, oh, wow, I was just feeding my dog and so many dogs manifested, right? And other place where people talk about manifestation in a light manner is that when you win the lottery, if you win $1 million, Varshana Mataji, then relatives will manifest.
Friends, relatives whom you have not seen for many years, all will manifest.
Very true.
So that will explain manifestation.
So here, Mataji, when the night falls,
Brahma's night.
They are merged into the unmanifest again. So when night falls means when the death
Brahma's
comes.
night. Brahma's night. Brahma's night.
Brahma's night.
Brahma's night.
Night falls.
Brahmana goes to sleep, then the things below will be all annihilated. Pralaya.
Yeah.
And then he has to construct. When he gets up in the morning,
Poor Brahma, he has to be busy all the time.
We as our souls, where do they stay? And they merge into Krishna?
Yes, they go back into the, yeah.
Again, he breathes out, then it come up.
Yeah, that's a bigger breathing. Yeah.
Breathing in, breathing out. But Brahma will be, I feel Brahma is so busy, Mataji.
Yes, he is busy.
All the
those
time
people,
busy.
Those souls who have this mode of passion, they want to do, that's why Brahma controls the mode of passion, right? So those who have that mode of passion are given a job. You had that passion. You want to do work? Okay, now do this big work.
But there is too much work for him.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
If there are no questions.
Nice class.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Shraddha Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranam.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Thank you, Mataji.